music.
And of course, this is very important. And of course, this is very important.
Thank you.
Immediately knowing what does the word Ebola mean, because we've been seeing the Ministry of Health telling us about Ebola and all those stories, but of course we need to know from your perspective as a medical practitioner. We believe in social media, but also us, our viewers, need to know what does the word Ebola mean, and of course how does it come? How can a person get this virus?
Thank you. Good evening, viewers, once again. So Ebola is a term that was given to the disease. Yeah, so the virus is called Ebola, but maybe some brief history. The word Ebola came from a name of a river in Congo, River Ebola.
Okay.
So this is where the first outbreak happened of Ebola. That was around 1976, and so it derived the name Ebola. So that's where the name comes from, but basically Ebola is the virus that causes the Ebola disease. Yeah, or the Ebola virus disease. Yes, so that is how the name comes about, and it is the cause of the disease. So it is a viral infection, as you have mentioned, and it is also it causes a hemorrhagic fever. So hemorrhagic means bleeding. Yeah, so one of the symptoms, as we shall see, will be bleeding that is involved in the disease. So that's where that's what Ebola means.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, dear viewers. You are watching live from Makerfu Gospel Church at Sapporo Kagwa Road. We encourage you to visit our social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Google Data Vision Uganda. Remember, we transform your life and of course bring you the latest health information here at the Health and Beauty Program with me, Kamara Daniel. We are still talking about Ebola. Doctor, let's quickly talk about how does it develop in the body, or how does the person acquire this very virus?
Good. So Ebola, or the virus, it is known to have been transferred from animals. Yeah, so there are some animals that were reservoirs or are reservoirs of this virus. So notably we have bats, we have monkeys, gorillas. So all these have been noted to have this virus. So it is passed on to humans, from animals to humans, through contact. So we have some people who hunt these animals and eat them, the monkeys, the bats, so like in Congo and some parts of Sudan. And so it is known that this virus came from these animals to humans. So in that case, even humans can transfer it to other humans, still through contact, especially if you get in touch with the fluids of an infected person. It could be blood, it could be saliva, it could be sweat. Any fluid that comes from an infected person can be a medium of transmission of this virus to the next person. So, but also materials that have been used by an infected person, if they contain these fluids from that person and you get in touch with them, can also cause, give you this virus.
Okay, you just said that most in the parts of Southern Sudan, where we have these very people who notably hunt animals,
yes,
and we see that this very strain, I can use a strain, that is here in Uganda is a Southern Sudan something related.
Yes, so so the Ebola virus has different species that have been discovered.
Okay.
So one of them is the Sudan Ebola virus. So we have the Sudan species, we have the Zaire, we have we also have Bundibujo, we also have Thai forest. So these are all species of the Ebola virus. So particularly this outbreak that we have is the species that is responsible for it is the Sudan species, or the Sudan strain, like you've said.
Yeah, I'm using of strains because of COVID-19.
Yes.
Every time a person be telling us to be saying strain. I don't even remember those strains, by the way. Now, we need to know the signs and symptoms. Before we go to the signs and symptoms, what's the community definition of Ebola? People, what's a telling community, how can I phrase this? But how does a community identify that this is an Ebola case? Maybe I've seen the community definition of Ebola. Yes, please.
Yeah, so now Ebola may be, the symptoms that come with it are the ones that define, especially from the public or from just viewing a person with Ebola.
Okay.
So, but you find some of them are not specific, while others are a bit more specific to Ebola. So, for example, someone may get high temperatures, what we call a fever, flu-like symptoms, a sore throat, body weakness and body pains, headaches. Then later they can develop vomiting, they can develop diarrhea, and most notably, this usually is stained with blood. Okay. So vomiting blood, passing stool with blood. So, but then also later you may see bleeding from other openings of the body when as the disease advances. Okay. Yeah. So in the first stages, someone may have these fevers. You go to the hospital and they have checked malaria, the common things that can bring the fevers. They have checked malaria, it's not there. They have checked typhoid. They have checked, they have looked for other bacterial infections, and usually they are not finding anything. So that could trigger your mind that these days we even check for COVID-19 and it's not there. So that could be Ebola. So not for the public to panic, but just to be on alert.
To be piece of information.
Yes, yes. There is no need to panic, but we just have to be on alert that we need to suspect that this could be Ebola.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I think that the community case definition is very important for viewers, because they are living the communities and they are predisposed to these very infections and all that. Now, the next question would be, if you wanted to categorize the signs and symptoms of very Ebola, how would you do that from the community? Now, what are those very signs and symptoms that these persons can present with?
Yes. So, like I had mentioned earlier, so these signs and symptoms can be non-specific. First of all, it may present like any other condition. Okay. Yeah. So, but the ones that we have notably seen, body weakness, someone you're feeling weak, headache, and usually this headache is a bit throbbing. It is not just a mere small headache. So throbbing is like you feel something is pumping in your head. Have you ever had that kind of headache?
How do they call it in Uganda? I may have had it in Uganda.